Hey guys, today I want to show you how to do mosaic crochet in the round by showing you the first 6 rounds of this mosaic square motif. One benefit of working in the round is if you were doing it in all 2 colors and you're not switching colors, you just get to carry the yarn up each round instead of having to cut and join new rounds like you would with typical overlay mosaic crochet. Okay, so our key says that all odd rows are worked in the main color and all even rows are worked in our contrasting color. On the chart, that shows as the contrasting color being the white part and our main color being the blue. I'm going to make the contrasting or the lighter color yellow and the main color orange so that this hopefully shows up good. Next we have our key. The squares outlined in black are the corner stitches, which are either double crochet corners or single crochet corners. All the other squares, if they have an X, are double crochet mosaic or single crochet mosaic, which that is just single crocheting in the back loop only. This pattern has 2 foundation rows. It's important to note that a lot of center out mosaic patterns only have 1 foundation row, which will be a magic ring, and then 8 single crochet. This one's a little different. We're starting with our contrasting color, and we're starting with the magic ring and 4 single crochet. There's my magic ring. I'm gonna insert my hook and do a chain 1. All of the rounds do start with a chain 1, and then 4 single crochets. There we go. Now I need to tighten the ring, and then I'll do an invisible join. Okay, ring's tightened. To do the invisible join, find the first single crochet you did. You can count back 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the first single crochet, and I'm going to insert my hook from the back into these 2 loops of that first single crochet. You can see it's in those 2 loops, and then here is the working loop. I'm going to make sure that the working yarn is going to be behind this when I do this. Here's the working loop. I'm going to pull it a little smaller, and I'm going to get it back on my hook and pull it through to do the invisible join. Okay, and now you should just have a tiny thing with 4 single crochets and that invisible join, and that's round 1. The next round, round 1, is worked in our main color, which is going to be orange, so I gotta attach that. I put it on my hook and just pull it through, and then I can tighten this yellow piece. And then what you want to do to secure it even more is put the yellow yarn on top, and then we're going to work that chain stitch that we work at the beginning of each round. And then it says 2 single crochet back loop only in each stitch around. For the first single crochet, we are going to have that as part of it. So you can see we have these 4 single crochets, and here's the first one. And you can see this is the back loop, and we're also going to have it around this to secure it one more time. And then we can just ignore the yellow yarn after that. And I need to do a second single crochet in that back loop. And then we'll do the next one. The next one. And the last one. Okay, and we've worked in the 4 single crochets from the first round 0, and now we're going to do an invisible join to finish off round 1. By inserting our hook through this first single crochet, and again you can count back to be sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and from the back of the work we're going to insert our hook through both loops of that first single crochet, and we're going to make sure this working orange yarn is behind our loop. We're going to grab that loop and pull it through for our invisible join. And that's round 2, sorry, I meant that's the end of round 1, and now we can get ready to start round 2. By putting the orange on top of the yellow, and then pulling the yellow through, tighten the orange, put the orange on top of the yellow again, and make a chain stitch to start round 2. Now we can look at this chart, round 2. It's also, I guess I didn't mention this, but you can see this, we're making a square and the chart is a triangle, and that's because this chart is repeated 4 times, although of course the corners are on both sides just because it looks nice and symmetrical, but you really repeat this and go back to this 3 times. So we have an X, so we're going to do a double crochet mosaic stitch, and we are doing that. We have to work in round 0 in the front loops of those. So you can see this is the first front loop of round 0. This part, it's tedious. Rounds 0, 1, 2 are the most tedious, and then it will get very easy after. But we need to make a double crochet into that front loop. Then we need to chain 1 and make another double crochet in that front loop. And this is the double crochet corner. So whenever you see an X outlined in black, you do a double crochet corner. Our next stitch is just a single crochet, and you want to make sure you're actually doing it in the second stitch, because you're skipping the first one since we worked in the below stitch. You could count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, and make a single crochet in the back loop of that. And now our chart here, we go back here, and we repeat this 3 more times. So do the double crochet corner in this next front loop of round 0 by double crocheting, chaining 1, and doing another double crochet in the same front. Okay, make sure you're skipping, here's the back loop we worked in, skip this one and do a single crochet in the next one. Repeat this 2 more times. Double crochet corner in front loop of round 0. Here's the back loop we single crocheted in. Skip the next one, single crochet in this one. Do 1 more corner stitch. Right, do 1 more single crochet stitch. And now we can do the invisible join again by moving our hook from this, inserting it into the first double crochet we made from the back, taking this, pulling it through, and this is the end of round 2. Now we can get ready for round 3. So make sure your yellow is on, your yellow is on top of the orange, and pull the orange through, tighten up the yellow, wrap the yellow around the orange again, and start your round 3 with a chain stitch. Round 3. And now we can look here at round 3 and we see this is a single crochet corner stitch. To do that, you'll be working in the chain space of the last corner stitch from here on out. All the corner stitches should be worked into the chain stitch. Sorry, either the chain stitch for the single crochet. We're going to be working into this chain stitch and doing a single crochet, and now we can drop that yellow, and then we need to chain 1 and work another single crochet into the back loop of the previous round's chain stitch. Sorry if that was confusing, but I will show it again. So now looking at our chart, we did the corner stitch. Now this means to just do single crochet in the next back loop, which is here. Looking at our chart, you can see now we do a double crochet mosaic, which will be worked not in this last round, which was yellow, but in the last orange round into this front loop. It is a little hard to see, but here it is. And now we need to do another single crochet into the back loop. And now we're back here, or here, however you want to look at it, and doing the single crochet corner, which should be in this chain stitch into the back loop of that. And we are just repeating this, so we do 1 single crochet in the back loop, 1 double crochet in the front loop, 1 single crochet in the back loop, and then we do our corner stitch in the back loop of this chain stitch, which is 1 single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet. Let's repeat that again. Single crochet in the back loop, double crochet in the front loop, single crochet in the back loop, and then do the single crochet corner in the back loop of this chain stitch. And we need to go one more time. Single crochet in the back loop, double crochet in the front loop, and then where you need a single crochet in the back loop, which would be the back loop of this double crochet here. So there's the front loop and here's the back loop. And then we do our invisible join by going into the first single crochet, which should be the first single crochet of the corner stitch. And we're going in from the back and then getting this loop on our hook and pulling it through. Tighten it. And there's round 3. Now we're gonna switch to the yellow, put the orange on top of the yellow and pull the yellow through. Twist the orange on top of it again and do your chain stitch to begin round 4. Round 4 starts with a normal single crochet corner, so we're going to work that in the back loop of this chain stitch we made in the previous round. There's the first single crochet, and then I'm going to drop the orange away from me, work a chain and another single crochet in that stitch for the corner. Now in the next stitch is going to be a double crochet, and it's important here to note that where you drop your double crochets are directly below the stitch that you would be doing a single crochet in. So you would be, if you were doing a single crochet, it would be in this stitch. Directly below that is the round before the previous round's corner chain. So that is where we are working the double crochet. Then here you can see we need to do 3 single crochets in the back loop. So one, 2, 3, and then you can see we got to do another double crochet, which will be worked in the stitch below this, which is this front loop chain. And now it's time to work our next corner stitch, and we're going to do that in the back loop of this chain stitch. And we're going to work single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. We're going to work our next double crochet, which will be worked in the same stitch that this double crochet was worked in. We're going to work our 3 single crochets, and then we're going to do our double crochet in the front loop of this chain stitch. I'm going to do our corner single crochet stitch, and then we're going to do the double crochet in this same stitch that the other double crochet was worked in. I'll meet you back near the end of this round. I just worked the last 3 single crochets, and now I need to work the last double crochet, which again will be worked in the same loop that this first one we made was worked in. Then I'm going to remove my hook, and then I'm going to insert it from the back into the first single crochet of the first corner stitch that we made. I'm going to loosen that up just a little. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this loop and pull it through. And there's round 4. Alright, let's get ready for round 5 by having this yellow yarn on top of the orange, pulling the orange through, and tightening the yellow. And then by putting the yellow again on top of the orange, and doing a chain stitch. Now let's look at round 5. We start with a single crochet corner stitch. So we're working that in the previous round's chain stitch back loop, and we're doing a single crochet. Now ignore that yellow yarn, chain 1, and single crochet again in that same back loop. Now we need to do 2 single crochets in the back loop only. There's 1, and there's 2. Now we need to do 3 double crochets in the front loop of the round before the previous round. So you can clearly see these. Now that our work's gotten a little bigger, things are going to be easier. Those are 3 double crochets, and now you can see we need to do 2 more single crochets. And now we're back to the single crochet corner. Make a single crochet, a chain, and another single crochet. And start from here, following it again. One, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 2 more single crochets into the back loop. Oops. 1, 2, and then corner stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet. I'll meet you back near the end of this round. Alright, I have 2 single crochets left to do. Here's 1, and then again, the last one should be made in this first single crochet of the corner from the previous round, and that should be in the back loop of that. The stitch can be a little difficult to get into because of how the invisible join is. Now we can do the invisible join of this round by inserting our hook through the back of that first single crochet of the corner and pulling the working loop through and tightening up. Alright, let's get ready for round 6 by putting the orange yarn on top of the yellow, pulling the yellow yarn through, tightening the orange, wrapping the orange around the yellow again, and making a chain. Now we're on round 6, and that starts with a double crochet corner, which is worked in the chain stitch of the round before the previous round. So it's this yellow front loop chain of this chain. And we're going to do a double crochet, a chain 1, and then another double crochet in that same front loop of the yellow chain. And there's our double crochet corner based on this X in the black box. And now we have to do 2 more double crochets, and this is similar to before when we did these double crochets in this chain loop. We gotta do that again because the next stitch is the single crochet of the previous round's corner, because we just worked in for what represents the previous round's chain, and the stitch right below this is also this chain loop. So we gotta do a double crochet in there, and then we gotta do the second double crochet in the next front loop here. And then we have to do 5 single crochets in the back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we gotta do the 2 double crochets. So the first one will be worked in the front loop below this single crochet. And the next one will be worked in the front loop below this single crochet, which is the front loop of this yellow chain stitch here, which is the same stitch that we have to work the corner in. So here's these 2 double crochets from the chart, and now we need to do the corner double crochet, which also goes in the same chain loop by doing a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. And now we start back at the beginning of the pattern, which has double crochet, a double crochet. So this next double crochet will be worked in the same loop. So you can see in this one loop we've got 4 double crochets and this chain. And then the next front loop we work another double crochet. Then we need 5 single crochets in the back loops. And I'm gonna continue around until I meet you near the end of the round. Alright, I've just done the 5 single crochets. Now I'm gonna do the last 2 double crochets. Do one in this front loop here. And then I do the last one in the chain space that has all these stitches in it. Or not the chain space, but the front loop of the chain. And then we do our invisible join like we have been by putting our hook through the back of the first double crochet we made and pulling the working loop through it. Okay, and the pattern does continue. There's 15 rounds in the full pattern, but I'll go ahead and show you finishing this. So we can do this, and then we could cut this yarn. I'm gonna cut it so that it's in, with bigger squares, you know, you could cut it so it's long enough that you can sew the squares together if you want. So I'm gonna cut it, and then just pull the yarn through and pull it tight. Thanks for watching this tutorial.